Yo! Shit, the car. Woo! W in the chat if you're here. We're gonna defund Israel now, top on. Fuck Israel. Drop me a W if you're here. Doing some walks. Hey, we got a subscriber. Thank you, brother. Who's it on YouTube? Someone give me a. I don't know what's going on today. Wait. I want it. Is there anyone on Rumble? Big Rumble stuff. Try to calm down. Yo, what's going on? What's going on, everyone? I don't know who can see me or hear me. Can we get a W in the chat if you're here, please? Yes, we got Muho. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you, Safa. I don't know. I think Rumble's down, man. I don't know what happens. Every time we do a stream, something goes wrong. Last time it was YouTube. We fixed YouTube, and I believe that Rumble might be down, which is a damn shame, man, if it is. My PC's been very laggy today. I don't know why. But, yeah, shout out to you, Muho. What's going on, man? What's going on, everybody in the chat? Yeah, drop me some. Let me know where you're from. If you're from the UK and you're watching this, drop me a UK flag. If you're from, you know, wherever, Palestine, Lebanon, Russia, Ukraine, anywhere, show me a W. Thank you. We got Theo Fawn. I don't know what's going on. If I show you my screen, my stream chat is just not loading for some reason. I can only see the Twitter chat. It's an absolute disaster, but I can see you guys down this part of the screen. Yeah, I can see Alan Abdo. Shout out to you, brother. What platform are you guys watching me on? Are you guys watching me on Twitter? Are you watching me on I don't think you are watching me on Twitter. Oh yeah, Alan's on Twitter. Well, shout out to you, brother. Where are you guys watching me from in the world, man? Are you, any of my UK brothers here? It's late over here. It's 11 o'clock at night. It's quite a late stream tonight, but we've got a few bits to cover. Oh yeah, we got another follower. Shout out to you, my brother. A follower on Twitch. Big shout out to you, my brother. Nothing's working apart from the Twitter chat for some reason. So I can see you guys at like here. I can see you guys here, but I can't see you guys in my normal chat. Newport Beach, California. Be a Palestinian. Respect you, brother. You know, Palestine will be free, of course. California, I'd love to visit there, to be honest. That's one of the nicer parts of America, I guess. You know, got nice views and all that. Yeah, we got some people on Twitch. Shout out to you, Nurky. Labike, where's that? Labike. Shout out to you, XYZ. You're on Twitter as well. Yeah, we've got a lot to talk about, man. We've got a ceasefire potentially happening tomorrow in Lebanon. I mean, that's big news. That is very big news. What do you guys think about that, man? Is that positive? I think it's a positive. Of course, it's a positive because the Lebanese have, you know, they've been doing a lot for the Palestinians since this all started, man. So they definitely deserve a break, especially the civilians, all the fighters. Atik, my brother, shout out to you, brother. Of course, you're from the UK. What part of the UK are you from again, bro? Are you from London somewhere or somewhere like that? Yeah, man. I don't know what's going on with Rumble. Oh, we got yeah. XYZ shout out as well. Yeah. Can someone tell me if my Rumble's down? I think it is, man. It's so annoying. I'm not really good at this technical stuff. I thought I set it all up right, but apparently I didn't, man. Damn it. It says I'm starting soon, I think. Wait. Yeah, upcoming, man. I don't know what I've done there. Fuck. I fucked it all up. But yeah, it's great to see everybody anyway. How's everyone doing on this fine evening, morning, wherever you are in the world? Obviously, a lot's been going on over the past week or so since we last spoke. Yorkshire, we got Yorkshire, bro. Is that Yorkshire? Yeah, is that Yorkshire, UK? WGBGB, yep. Yeah, I think Yorkshire may be in the UK. Yeah, if you're on Twitch and stuff, I'm going to have to keep looking down here, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, man, we're going to get into some news. Obviously, we got NATO pushing for World War III. Of course, like any other day. Oh, we got a good morning from, is that Malaysia? I think that's Malaysia, isn't it? Yeah, Yorkshire and Malaysia. Yeah, Malaysia. Shout out to you. What time is it in Malaysia? I don't know what time it is over there. But yeah, who likes my top? Defund Israel now. It's a great top, man. I'll give you guys the link later on if you want it. But yeah, defund Israel now. Let's do it. Twitter's freezing. Is it freezing, brother? I don't know. Let me check on my phone. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully it might. Okay, look, it looks like it should be alright, man. Hopefully, maybe just give it a refresh. It might be sorted out. I might have to put my chat there actually, to be fair. But yeah. If Twitter's freezing, best I can suggest maybe go over to Twitch. There's another streaming platform called Party. I just signed up for it. I don't know how we go live here. Fuck it, we'll do it in a bit. But yeah, 7:03 AM. Well, you're up early. You got work today. APAC Terrorist Organisation. Agree with you there, brother. Yeah, but let's get into some news, guys, man, before I ramble on for too long. So, a lot's been going on since we last spoke. I don't know if you guys were here on the last stream, but it was my 2-year anniversary last stream. I was actually very ill. I only done the stream because it was a 2-year anniversary and I thought I have to. But, I'm feeling a lot better now, so back to trying to do some regular streams again. But yeah, the good thing about obviously the stream not being on for a while is that there's been a lot to talk about now. You know, there's been the ceasefire in Lebanon tomorrow. We've got NATO pushing for World War III every day. You know, Russia, Ukraine, all of that stuff. All the stuff in Gaza, Israel. You know, world politics. There's been a lot going on, man. There's been a lot going on. But let's get into it anyway. Let's start getting into some news. So where are we gonna start? We're gonna start with what's been going on in Lebanon. So, for those of you that have been following me on Twitter, you've probably seen a lot of this, or if you're following anyone on Twitter, you know, you've probably seen a lot of this. But basically, this is yesterday, you know. So yesterday, the Hebrew media actually reported that it was one of the worst days yet for Israel, of course. Hezbollah, they forced around 4 million Israelis to take shelter. One of the biggest attacks, I think it is the biggest attack since October 7th. I think there was, so basically, let me just get the stats up. So look, this was actually a red alert map of Israel just within the past 24 hours, but obviously 24 hours being yesterday, November the 24th. So from the 23rd to the 24th, this was the red alerts all across Israel. I mean, Hezbollah, they haven't been playing games lately. They've been, you know, attacking Israel. Obviously, you know what's happening. But yeah, it's been one of the worst attacks. Basically, they said, Hebrew media came out and said Hezbollah has launched over 300 missiles into Israel today, which was the largest volume since the start of the war. I mean, what can we say, man? The world is sick and tired of seeing what's been going on to the Palestinians, the way that Israel has been treating everybody. Hezbollah actually published a photo saying Beirut for Tel Aviv. So I'm not sure if you guys remember, but basically just before, we saw Israel bombarding Beirut. You know, it was awful what they was doing. You know, blowing up civilian areas, bombing, you know, civilian vehicles, everything, you name it. But yeah, wait, I can see a message on Twitch, I think. Does the ceasefire include backing down from Gaza? Well, we don't really know too much about the ceasefire right now. We're going to get into it, what we do know. But what we do know is that there's been a ceasefire put forward. It's been by the Americans, and I think France had something to do with it as well, because apparently it's Biden and Macron that are going to be talking about the ceasefire tomorrow and like announcing it. So it's going to be some sort of American bullshit. I believe it's only for 60 days, so it kind of reminds me, you know, after October 7th, in was it like 2 or 3 months after, we saw a ceasefire in Gaza, a temporary one. Wait, I feel like I'm not in the middle of my screen. Right, there we go. So yeah, we saw a temporary ceasefire in Gaza, do you remember, before? And it was only for about, how long was it, 60 days, about the same sort of time, maybe even 30 days, I think. So this isn't like any permanent, this isn't a permanent ceasefire. Wait, sorry. It's not a permanent ceasefire, but it is a temporary ceasefire. I mean, the benefit of this, obviously, is going to be the civilians are going to get a break, you know. The civilians don't deserve to go through any of this stuff, man. There's families being torn apart by Israel. And that's the difference between Hezbollah and Palestine and, Hezbollah and Hamas and Israel. You know, Israel targets civilians and civilian homes and all that stuff, and Hamas and Hezbollah target military bases. So, but yeah, I don't think it includes backing down from Gaza, to be honest with you. And I don't know if you're talking about Israel backing down from Gaza. Sorry, the camera just feels really weird today. Yeah, I don't think it's about. I don't think Israel are going to stop attacking Gaza. No, if that's what you're trying to ask. But if you're asking if Hezbollah have got to back down from like defending Gaza, then I'm not too sure. But we are going to get into some of that stuff now. So throughout the week, we saw Hezbollah, applying a lot of pressure to Israel. As you can see, the missile attacks. Have I even got the screen on? No, I knew I didn't have it on. So yeah, Hezbollah have been attacking Israel all week. It's been one of the worst. It was one of the worst weeks for Israel in a long time. Should be better. Should be better. Yeah, that's better. So yeah, it's convenient how it comes, just as Hezbollah are really putting a foot on the gas against Israel. I mean, it's the timing. Of course, they're taking heavy losses. But yeah, all week though, we saw Israel, there was vandalising civilian homes, performing satanic rituals and all this nonsense. I mean, this is them occupying a home in Lebanon. What the fuck are they doing, man? Weird terrorist, child-killing scumbags, man. Like, honestly, what the fuck is wrong with these people? Sorry, 2 minutes. I just got to open a window in here. Fucking hell, it's very hot. Sorry, guys. It's very hot in this house. But yeah, so we've seen all the pressure getting applied by Hezbollah, and then all of a sudden the ceasefire comes into play, Hello, Mikhail. Shout out to you, brother. Mikhail Malik. Thanks for joining us. But yeah, basically this is what happened. The US proposed a truce to see the Israeli army withdraw from South Lebanon and the Lebanese troops deploy within 60 days. So, from what I can understand, I did see, I think it was on Telegram, Middle East Observer, is it? Oh, this isn't the right website, is it? There we go, Telegram web. So I'll bring up a nice breakdown that I read. Give me a better understanding of what was going on. Middle East Spectator, sorry. Great Telegram channel, you guys should join if you've got Telegram. But, let's scroll up. So, the ceasefire. Wait. Okay, what day is it today? November 25th. Why is my Telegram not updated to that date? Okay. A lot's been going on since I last looked. Okay. So it's also important to note, yeah, so basically this is what the ceasefire is going to look like. So there is an optimism in Lebanon regarding a ceasefire based on UN Security Council Resolution 1701. Contrary to what some anti-Lebanese media would have you believe, UNSCR 1701 would be a win for the resistance, as it would restore the status quo from before the war. And basically what this status quo means is that Hezbollah will remain active, it will remain armed, and it will remain deployed in all of southern Lebanon across the border, while Israel will be forced to retreat. So it's looking like it's gonna, it's in the favour of Lebanon, in a way, because Israel will have to retreat all of their positions, but Lebanon won't have to. In practice, it will not force Hezbollah to withdraw beyond the Litani River, nor would it force Hezbollah to disarm or disband. Yet technically, the resolution states that the only armed forces south of the Litani River should be Lebanese military and UNIFIL, meaning not Hezbollah, but this will never be implemented because Israel does not implement part of its obligations. So for example, Israel is occupying the Sheba Farms, which is internationally recognised as Lebanese territory, and Resolution 1701 calls upon Israel to withdraw all of its forces from Lebanon and for the Lebanese government to exercise full control of its territory. So it's simple. Israel will not adhere to this resolution, so neither will Hezbollah, and it's been like this for over 18 years. Furthermore, the resolution calls on disarmament of all armed groups in Lebanon, but the Lebanese constitution does not consider Hezbollah as an armed group, and a majority of the Lebanese political establishment considers Hezbollah to be exempt from this clause. So this is very hard to change, especially with Hezbollah's ally in charge, Parliament Speaker Nabi Berri. People need to understand that the UN Resolution 1701 was active in Lebanon before the October 7th war. It was the status quo. It's not something new. It's not an Israeli win, and Hezbollah will not disarm, nor will it retreat a single inch. So, I mean, think of it what you will. I mean, obviously, this isn't 100% as well. This is just like an opinion, but this is like the best breakdown I've seen of it so far. Could potentially be a win. I mean, will Israel stick to the ceasefire? Probably not. You know, they didn't do it in Gaza. I mean, there was a ceasefire in Gaza, if you don't remember, and within like 12, not even like a few hours of it happening, they was shooting civilians that was going to pick up aid. I'm not sure if any of you guys remember that, but I remember that. Tony Montana, shout out to you, my brother. Of course, we got the biggest anti-Semite on the platform in the chat. No, I'm joking. Shout out to you, Tony, man. Thanks for joining us, brother. What do you think of the ceasefire, man? Do you think it's a load of shit, or do you think that it could be a positive? I've seen a lot of controversial stuff on X. A lot of people arguing, and that's one thing I will say, guys. Don't fall victim to this, Zionists. They're probably laughing, when I've seen a few certain accounts getting into like debates and people falling out over this stuff. Man, it's not worth it. This is what they want. They want to divide, and they want to ruin the morale of what's going on. But what else did he say? So basically, if there is, wait, let me get it up, sorry, so you can see. So if there is a ceasefire based on the UN Resolution 1701, Israel will fully withdraw from Lebanon, Hezbollah will remain in the south, and the situation returns to pre-October 7th of 2023. This would mean that Israel was not able to achieve any of its two major objectives. One, depleting Hezbollah's missile power and defeating militarily, and two, forcing Hezbollah beyond the Litani River. So obviously this is just this Middle East spectator's opinion, but the way they broke it down is, very easy to understand, and this, yeah. But on the actual news side of it, what confirmed stuff have we got? I mean, oh yeah, we did see some celebrations taking place in Sidon after the ceasefire was announced. I mean, of course, the civilians are going to be happy. It's good to see some happiness, after all of this bloodshed and this genocide. I did post more about this, man. I don't know why they're not in my bookmarks. For some reason, Twitter does this weird thing where I bookmark stuff and then it don't go in my bookmarks. It's really weird. Let me just, I know I've been posting about this since then. So, okay. Maybe I didn't bookmark it, sorry. But according to reports, it will be Biden and Macron that will announce a ceasefire in Lebanon for 60 days tomorrow. Don't know why the fuck they're got to announce it. And the American proposal includes Israel's withdrawal from southern Lebanon and the stationing of Lebanese soldiers there within 60 days. I mean, we haven't really seen too much information about it. Yeah, we haven't seen too much. I mean, if you guys have seen more than me, then please let me know and we'll read into it. But as far as I'm aware, it's not 1,000% confirmed. I haven't seen any Hezbollah statements about it. I did see something saying that Hezbollah will announce it tomorrow, but I'm not 100% sure. Excuse me, sorry. But yeah, hopefully it's a positive. It would be good to see something positive for once. But yeah, France said discussions on the ceasefire in Lebanon has made significant progress. So it does look like it's going to go ahead, but whether Israel sticks to it, I mean, that's another question. That is another question. Yeah, exactly, Tony. The same as me, brother. You just learned you can chat. Yeah, that's the same as how I feel, bro. I'm not from Lebanon, I don't know, obviously we've seen the videos and we've seen the terrorism them guys have been facing, so I completely understand why anybody's happy about it. I'm sure everyone would be happy if there's a ceasefire in Gaza, so I don't know why people aren't happy that there's a ceasefire in Lebanon. I understand that people think that, they want Hezbollah to keep fighting until the end for Gaza, which I don't doubt that they will do. I think they will continue, but I think that maybe there's got to be a break at some point. There's got to be a time where the civilians can, at least go see their family members, maybe get whatever they need to out of their homes and, get some food or whatever, because there's obviously been starvation crisis and all that. So we'll have to just wait and see tomorrow, I guess, and see how it plays out. And I pray that this whole thing can just come to a complete ceasefire in Gaza and Lebanon eventually, you know. But as long as Israel's around, I doubt that it's going to happen because they're trying to grab all the land, you know, for the Greater Israel Project, as we know. Why is nothing working over here? So weird. Yeah, I think Rumble's down. But yeah. Yeah, what else? Obviously, we've got NATO continuing to push Russia into World War III, of course. A lot's been going on over there. Just trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh yeah, also, if you're in the UK, I want to quickly put this out there. Go sign this petition. We've got a call for a general election in the UK. It says, I'd like there to be another general election. I believe that the current Labour government has gone back on the promises that they laid out in the lead up to the last election. I mean, obviously they fucking go back on their promises every time. That's not a surprise, but like this Keir Starmer guy, he's a fucking idiot, you know. Look, the signatures are going up live as we speak. It's got 2.5 million signatures within 24 hours, which is absolutely crazy, you know. Shows that, look, it only needed 100,000. Basically, it says Parliament considers all petitions that get more than 100,000 signatures for a debate. I don't think the debate is going to do anything. I don't actually think this is going to do anything, but it is good to just, you know, let Keir Starmer and these Labour, like, fucking idiots know that we don't like their shit. I mean, Rishi Sunak was bad, but fucking hell, Keir Starmer somehow made it 10 times worse. Of course, Rishi Sunak's a genocidal Zionist, you know. Of course, he's funding Israel. Of course, he's funding proxy wars in Ukraine, but I feel like the free speech, at least we had a little bit of, you know, like, of course it wasn't the best, but I've seen so many journalists getting getting raided, getting arrested just for talking about what's going on in Gaza and stuff, so, and it's all been since Keir Starmer's come into play, you know, his Labour government. So, everyone go sign this petition, definitely, look, it's going up by the hundreds. It's going up by the hundreds. Hopefully, we'll wake up tomorrow, that'll be on 3 million at least. I'd love to see what happens, but I doubt it'll be anything. But, you know, it's the thought that counts, man. Let them know. But yeah. So, anyway, what's been going on in Ukraine? I mean, what hasn't been going on in Ukraine? So, let's take it back a few days to November the 20th. The US came out and said they was allocating a new military aid package to Ukraine, which is going to cost the American taxpayer around $275 million. It includes shells for the the HIMARS, MLRS, I think you say it, the TOW anti-tank missiles, the drones, and chemical protection equipment. Americans, are you happy to fund this? Doubt it. I mean, I'm in the UK and we're unfortunately funding this as well. Just checking TikTok, you know, because TikTok's been doing alright for some reason lately. Didn't even know you could stream on TikTok the other day. Oh, look, already. Your life contains themes that some may find uncomfortable and has been restricted for alcohol, tobacco, and drugs. What the fuck? Okay. Oh, shout out to you, Luna. Thank you for joining us on Kick. Yo, Luna. Unfortunately, I can't see any of the chats today, which is annoying apart from Twitter, so I have to just quickly, you know, pop in and say hello to the people over there. Oh shit, I didn't mean to spell your name wrong. Thanks for joining, Luna. Yeah, Rumble's fucking down. I don't know what I did there. Oh, I forgot my stream's there in the corner. I thought I could hear myself. YouTube, I think we're live. Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, in Ukraine, sorry. We've seen escalations every day. It just feels like we're one step closer to World War III, and it's honestly scary times we're living in, you know. Hopefully this shit can come to an end soon, but yeah. So Tucker Carlson came out and said the lame duck's president just started a hot war with the most dangerous country in the world. We're all very close to being killed. Then Ukrainian President Zelensky the day after. Today there was a new Russian missile. All its characteristics, speed, altitude, are those of an intercontinental ballistic missile. It's clear that Putin is using Ukraine as a testing ground. Zelensky, bro, chill out, mate. The only person using Ukraine as a testing ground is NATO and America, you know. Ukraine's clearly a fucking testing ground. They want to put missile bases in Ukraine. You know, it's half of the reason why this shit all started in the first place is because you're literally a puppet for the American government, and you know, they assassinated the only person that was actually, you know, making his own decisions in the country. And then they placed someone like Zelensky there to, you know, just put pressure on Russia. They already surrounded Russia with all these other military bases. Fucking clown, man, honestly. But yeah, the International Monetary Fund intends to provide Ukraine with another $2.7 billion in 2025 to continue the war in Ukraine at all costs. Just what we wanted. Not. And this is like the real Ukraine, guys. I mean, a lot of people, I've realised I've got it mixed up, you know. A lot of people seem to think that Ukraine's a small country, Russia's the big country, Russia's the bully. Ukraine, you know, they're just like trying to defend themselves or whatever. But for people that are not stupid enough to believe everything started on October 7th, 2023 in Palestine, I'm pretty sure not stupid enough to believe that everything started in February 2022 in Ukraine. Of course, this has been going on for many years, and we are going to show you some videos and try and educate the people a lot more, because I've noticed that there is quite a lot of division for some reason. When we talk about Russia and Ukraine, there's always certain people that, you know, think that Putin's the one doing this and that. But if anything, Putin's actually a very calm man, you know. If there was anyone else in charge of Russia, I'm pretty sure that we would be fucked by now, you know. There's obviously there's say for example, you've got the Labour Party and the whatever party in the UK, you know. If there was a different party in charge of Russia, I promise you now, guys, we'd all be fucked. Putin's been president of Russia for over 20 years. He was prime minister before he was president, for those of you that don't know as well. So he's been, you know, in the game of the big leagues for over 25 years. And if it was anybody else that was leading Russia right now, I guarantee the World War would have already started. Ukraine continues to push Russia every day. America pushes Russia every day. NATO pushes Russia every day. And luckily, Putin's, you know, got a good heart, and he can see that it's not the people of our countries that are the problem. It is the people at the top. And he's put up with a lot of shit, you know. He's put up with a lot of shit. So I think we should be very grateful that Putin is in charge and it's not someone else. But this is daily life in Ukraine, man. This is the forced mobilization in Ukraine that we see every day. We see videos like this. And I do want to actually make a point and say there is obviously a lot of civilians in Ukraine, you know. Different to Israel, where it's loads of illegal settlers and pretty much 99% of the country is agreeing with what's going on. There is actually a lot of civilians in Ukraine that don't agree with what Zelensky's doing. I think at the beginning of the war, all of the people that were agreeing with what Zelensky's doing already, you know, have gone out and signed up for the army, and they've probably been killed or whatever by now. But we're now like over 2 years into this, and the only people that are left, they don't want to fight anymore. You know, even if some of them did want to fight at the beginning, they don't want to fight anymore, I promise you that. Russia has got, you know, the size of their reserve troops is bigger than the whole Ukraine army anyway, do you know what I mean? And Ukraine wouldn't have lasted this long without our funding, without NATO's funding, without America, UK, everyone's funding. Because Ukraine are being used as like a chess piece on the board. The goal obviously is to weaken Russia. America and the UK obviously want to go to war with Russia, but they don't want to do it on their own soil. So they just do it on Ukraine instead. They do it on Ukraine soil. Obviously that way Russia takes some losses. Of course Russia takes losses as well. They lose men every day. There's been terrorist attacks in Russia, like the Moscow Crocus attack, you know, numerous drone attacks on buildings, civilian buildings, you name it. You know, there's been terrorism going all across Russia. But then obviously you've got the losses on the Ukrainian side as well. You know, the soldiers that got dragged up off the streets, kidnapped, you know, injection in their arm, put to sleep, wake up on the battlefield with an AK-47 forced to go die against Russia. And that's the sad reality about all of this, man. It's the sad reality of this is that the people in the mainstream media, you know, what they push, they don't show you this side of what's going on. They just show you, oh, you know, Russia's just doing this and that. But no, let's actually look at some shit that's been going on in Ukraine lately. So the forced mobilization in Ukraine continues. This is a video and just show you what's going on here. You can see he's clearly resisting. He clearly doesn't want to go die. As most of us wouldn't want to. That's it. Kidnapped. He's probably going to wake up, you know, on a battlefield. Unfortunately. And it's sad. Honestly, don't know what I'd do if I was in this position. I'd probably get myself, you know, if this was me, I'd have to try and run in with a white flag or something, you know, or some shit. I don't know. I'd have to fuck going to war for Zelensky, man. But yeah, you can see the murals are getting covered up with Zelensky now. What? No one fucking wants to see that shit. Even in Barcelona, they've had enough. So the losses of the Ukrainian army in various directions of the front of the special military operation amounts to around 1,545 servicemen per day. That's a lot. It's heavy losses. Heavy losses. And, you know, the mainstream media will never tell you that. The mainstream media try and convince us that somehow Ukraine's winning, you know, and they're not losing anybody. I mean, anyone with a brain can, you know, see that's obviously not true. But, also, 80% of Ukraine's energy has been, the infrastructure has been damaged or completely destroyed. The country's facing a difficult winter. You know, it's coming up to Christmas, cold winter times, especially in them areas as well. You know, Russia and Ukraine are known for being cold countries anyway. So I can't even imagine. Sorry. I can't even imagine how cold it's getting now because of this fucking idiot wants more money from our, you know, taxpayers and keep funding this fucking meat grinder of dead civilians, dead Ukrainians. Look, another video. A Ukrainian mother breaks down as she loses her only son who's forced to go and die in Zelensky's war. Yeah, man, it's sad. Like, how can you do that? How can you just tear families apart like that, man? It's definitely fucking Zionism, you know. And that's what I don't understand as well. People support Ukraine and Palestine at the same time, but the same people that are funding the genocide on the Palestinians are the same people that are, you know, funding the Ukrainians to go and die. You know, the same enemies of, the same enemies of, you know, Russia are the same enemies of Palestine. The same allies of Russia are the same allies of Palestine. You know, Lebanon, Hezbollah, Palestine, all of these countries, Iran, you know, they're all on the same side. So it really does confuse me how someone can support Palestine and Ukraine at the same time. It is strange. I mean, I understand if you don't want civilians to die, fair enough, but why are you supporting Zelensky, the government? That's literally, oh, it's crazy. Anyway, so an eyewitness, oh wait, this one's in Russian, there's actually another one. So these videos are out every day. I always post them on my X page, you know, guys. If you're not aware of what's going on, you should try and keep up, man, because it is bad. A resident of Seledovo told this news agency, RIA Novosti, how Ukrainian soldiers executed a woman by shooting her in the head. Like, this is Zionist behavior, you know? Like, how can you support this shit? So she says, I don't know how accurate the translation is, but here, well, buried here, you know, here on the second floor in a 9-story, a woman. I guess this translation isn't the best. The Ukrainians came in. She was on the second floor. She went outside. Then says something about passport passport documents went there and never came out again. Her first brother-in-law arrived, went there, and she got shot in the head. But he buried her, took her, and drove her. So they're killing their own people, you know, just like the Zionists would do. Excuse me, I'm tired. And yeah, keep pushing for war. Obviously, the chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine stated that Ukraine is actively working on developing its own guided bombs. Like, this is not helping, you know. Like, Ukraine is getting destroyed on the battlefield. Like, everything's just, they're losing everything, man. And you want to keep pushing to create new bombs and shit, like. But yeah, this is what happens to Christian churches under the Zelensky regime. It's an old video that came out about a month ago, but it's always important to share these type of videos to people that didn't see. Now, what does this remind you of, guys? Let me know in the chat. Does this remind you of anybody? So yeah, that's just life in Ukraine, you know. That's what happens if you're a Christian in Ukraine. That's what they're going to do to your churches. Zelensky doesn't like Christians. He actually went around destroying all of the last remaining churches in Ukraine before this shit happened. He's banned the Orthodox church as well, because apparently it's Russian Orthodox, you know. So even if you're just a normal Russian citizen, you know, living in Ukraine, you might not even agree with what Russia's doing. You can't even go to church. They're cancelling that shit. That's satanic, man. Honestly, it's crazy. But yeah, continuous losses on the battlefield for Ukraine. The Ukrainian armed forces has lost more than 200 servicemen in the Kursk direction in one day. And then earlier today, like, the escalations are just fucking insane, man. So this is oh yeah, it's gone up here. So the arrival of 5 ATACM missiles with cluster munition warheads in the vicinity of the Kalino airfield in the Kursk region. Just look how crazy these videos are, honestly. This guy's just driving in his car and look at this shit. This is fucking insane, man.
Пиздец, ебать, там хуярит, блядь. Ебать! Твою мать, блядь! Пизда нахуй!
Scary shit, honestly.
Пизда нахуй!
Like, watch that again.
Пиздец, ебать, там хуярит, блядь. Ебать! Твою мать, блядь! Пизда нахуй!
How the fuck does this bring peace? Like, Putin has been trying to, you know, call for a peace deal since the beginning of since it started. About 3 days after it happened, he called for peace. The funny thing is, after, you know, this wasn't actually meant to last this long. This was meant to be a couple of day thing. And, you know, there was peace talks a couple of days after. And then, of course, Boris Johnson steps in from the UK and puts an end to it all. Gets in Zelensky's ear and tells him, you know, no, don't back down. You know, we'll win this. We've got your back. But, you know, we're just going to let all your men die and all this shit. But we'll give you some money. We'll make sure that it lasts for a few years. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, where's this actually end? Some more footage here from the same ATACM missiles and the clusters.
А, ну это беспилотный. Ух ты, а что это такое? И там, глянь, мам. А что это такое? Это какая-то система ПВО новая. Охренеть.
So yeah, the terrorism, you know, it's funny how it runs in the family of whoever America and the UK support. I was just thinking in my head, man, there's no way TikTok's gonna allow this shit for long. Oh, thank you. Whoa, whoa, whoa. There's a lot going on in this chat on here. Holy shit. Shout out to you, Freedom Fighter. I can't see all your messages. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate. Oh, you've been sending me roses and all sorts. You're a G, man. I was just thinking in my head that there's no way we're gonna last this long on TikTok. Surely, like, holy shit, like, especially with this Russia stuff. But apparently we're still here. Shout out to you. Oh, you're from Greece. I appreciate you, brother, for joining us. Please share us on TikTok. Obviously, I don't know how long we'll last on TikTok. This is like our 5th page. We're not planning to stay here for long, you know. We're just trying to spread the word. But yeah, we do need an international revolution for all the issues. And yeah, peace is the best thing. I mean, like, this is what I was trying to explain, that how is consistently sending all of this money to Ukraine gonna help achieve peace? Just get you know, Putin is happy to speak. Putin's happy to have a peace deal. He's put forward numerous peace proposals, and he even put forward loads of proposals before this happened, warning that this would happen. And he's just begging the US, basically, please just stop, like, stop with this nonsense. Stop putting the missile bases around Russia. Stop slaughtering our people in the Donbass. You know, it's simple things, really. Stop expanding NATO. Simple things that could have prevented all of this. And then even after this, he's still happy to have a peace deal. He's still happy to sit down at the table and negotiate. But no, they just want to fund an endless proxy war. And Zelensky doesn't care about his people. Zelensky was literally an actor before all of this. He was a clown, literally, on TV. He was literally a clown. Like, go look it up. And he's not a president. He's not fit to be president. He's just, you know, money laundering for the swapping the lives of his own people for money. And I don't know what he thinks he's going to get out of this, but there's no way you're getting peace like this, man. Come to the fucking peace table and talk about something. Stop bombing civilians and shit, man. It's not going to ever cause peace anyway. But people have needs. What do they need? Yeah, like, I understand what you mean. And thanks for sharing the live as well. I saw that as well. Thank you, brother. But yeah, hopefully we can have peace, man, all around the world. Peace in Palestine. Peace in Lebanon, peace in Ukraine, peace everywhere, man. Enough of the wars, man. It's always the same aggressor every time as well. Funny thing about it all. But, yeah. Why does it say get info on the Irish general election? Like, are they trying to say I'm giving misinformation now because I was talking about... TikTok's so fucking crazy, man. I literally showed the UK voting thing at the beginning, and now they're trying to tell me get on... Like, shut the fuck up, man. But, what else has been going on? So yeah, terrorism, of course, escalations in Ukraine. There's some more about this as well. So, this was at the beginning of the week as well. The Biden administration gave Kiev permission to use British Storm Shadow cruise missiles to strike old Russian regions. I mean, does this look like peace? And then literally the day after, the same day, when did just a few hours after, and we can already see the arrival of multiple Storm Shadow missiles in the village of Mariano in the Kursk region. So, you know, they clearly had these missiles well before they got approved. It was obviously in the works.
Бля, я в машине сидел, выбежал аж. Во. Ебать, блядь. Взрывают сейчас. Вон там дым идет. Что они там забомбили? Еще один прилет летит. Ебать! Ебать нахрен. Вот это взрывы, а? Серег, хрен его знает, мы, наверное, сейчас ломанемся отсюда. Ебать, бля. Пиздец, хрен знает, я здесь сейчас, бля. Ебать, бля, пиздец. Ебать, бля, ты пиздец. Дым идет, сука, везде. Прямо на помаре хреначат, бля. знаю, где еще пацаны там. Ебать нахрен сюда. Вот это взрывы. Именно Марина наша взрывает, бля, именно. Ебать нахрен сюда.
So yeah, they didn't waste any time, you know, to use these missiles. That's what I'm trying to say. People join the live, yeah. Yeah, we need democracy, man, and Ukraine needs the actual person in charge of their country that actually cares about the people there, you know. Put Putin in charge, man. Free Palestine, yeah. Shout out to you, JJ, brother. Free Palestine always. But yeah, just constant escalation. So Russia's Security Council came out with a base statement directed at the United States, and he said, "Now I will address my American colleagues and say to you, today you have shown that you are fully responsible for the deaths of tens of thousands of innocent civilians." But let's actually watch the full statement. This was at the UN the other day. I'm going to mute it so I can read out the subtitles.
Statement yesterday.
I'll turn it down at least.
Now I will address my American colleagues.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't realise it was already English translated. Even better. I'll turn this shit up then.
Statement yesterday. Now I will address my American colleagues and say that you today have definitively shown that you are fully responsible for the death of tens of thousands of innocent civilians, for the privations of refugees, suffering of hostages, and the illegally detained Palestinians. It was very interesting to hear the representative of the American representative today in the wake of the vote. For example, he said that the resolution does not contain provisions on the release of hostages. Well, it does contain such a provision. Perhaps the U.S. representative should read through the resolution before voting against it. He also stated that the resolution does not have a condemnation of the attack on the 7th of October. I would like to remind our American colleagues here that it was the United States who, on the 18th of October 2023, vetoed a Security Council resolution which condemned a condemnation of the 7th of October attack. The United States positioned themselves as a key partner, not just for Israel, but also for the Arab states. But they vote against resolutions who are in the interest of all of the Arabs and supported by the Arabs themselves. If the draft had been passed, we could have demanded that Israel end its deadly attacks in Gaza, in the West Bank, that it rein in its continued aggression against Lebanon and Syria. We could have sent a very clear signal to the parties to end violence and move on to the political and diplomatic settlement of the Palestinian issue. But the cold and cynical opposition by the United States to the simple demand on behalf of the Council to save human lives is an unconscionable and inhumane act. We have no doubt that the Israelis themselves are interested in ending the spiral of violence, and we categorically reject attempts to present the events on the 7th of October of 2023 as the starting point for the bloody events in the region now. The reasons for that are much deeper, and they have to do with a very old historic injustice where one side was given the opportunity to create their own state, and others have been consistently denied the exact same right. We will continue speaking resolutely for demanding the end of violence against Palestinians. No doubt, we will continue calling out the abuses and hypocrisy by the United States when it comes to settling this situation. We will not allow the United States to muzzle the voice of the Council when and continue emboldening further merciless operations by Israel. Our common duty is to make sure that the voices of the absolute majority of the people on this planet to end the spiral of violence in favor of a just settlement of the Palestinian issue on the basis of an acknowledged basis and the desire to become a full member of the UN, that these voices be heard. We must bring peace, stability, and prosperity to the Middle East. And no one, including the United States and other Western states who indulge them, has a right to inhibit these aspirations.
W Russia, man. W Russia. You heard him there. You know, he made a very clear point that this shit didn't start on October 7th, man. Don't try to come over with all this bullshit, you know. We know what's been going on since before October 7th. This has been going on for ages. So yeah, shout out to Russia, man, for standing up for Palestine. So yeah. So then this is the moment. Obviously, it's funny, yeah, because oh, I must have closed the tab. So we just saw the video just before of, you know, the Ukrainian strikes, and then literally they thought that Russia weren't going to respond. They thought wrong, because this is the moment Ukraine was hit by 6 Russian warheads launched by their intercontinental ballistic missile, the one that Zelensky was crying about a minute ago. This isn't a very clear video, but you can see it. Let my dog out. This one's not the clearest of videos. There's a better one. This one's not too clear either. This is like the clearest one. Like, look at the fucking speed of this shit. Like, these are the so-called ICBMs launched by Russia. This is the kind of escalation needed to stop the war. Holy shit! Look at this. Now, this is not sped up. Like, this is fucking crazy. So yeah. Russia saying, yeah, you want to send your Storm Shadow missiles to us? Cool. This is what you get back. Can't blame them. Ah, Freedom Fighter, you're such a G, man. You keep sending us these roses. You're a G, man. Thank you, brother. I know there's probably not a lot of people on TikTok right now talking about this. I mean, I don't really blame them in a way, because we probably will get banned. Holy shit, 1.9k likes. This must be you, man. Boosting us. Thank you, brother. You're such a G, man. But yeah, basically Putin had like an address after the strikes, and these are some of the key points. So the key points from Putin's recent address after the use of Western long-range missiles on Russian territory. On November 19th, 680 ACM missiles, and on November 21st, I think that's a mistype. Storm Shadow systems struck targets in the Kursk and Bryansk regions. Air defense systems repelled the missile attacks. There was casualties in the Kursk region. The conflict in Ukraine has acquired elements of a global character after attacks by long-range Western missiles on Russia. Putin announced a successful test of the newest medium-range Oreshink. Their modern air defense systems do not intercept. These missiles attack at a speed of 10 Mach, which is around 2.5 to 3 kilometers per second. Holy shit. The targets to be hit during further tests of Russia's newest missile systems will be determined based on the threats on the country. Russia considers itself entitled to use weapons against military facilities of countries that allow their weapons to be used against it. Fair enough. Russia will offer in advance to civilians in Ukraine and citizens of other countries to leave areas of possible destructions in the event of the use of such systems such as the Oreshink. There are currently no means of counteracting such weapons. I mean, who the fuck's going to be able to stop that? I don't know. And in I can't. My Russian, I can't do it, man. I can't do it. Sorry, I can't read that word. Russia stuck a complex that produces, among other things, missile technology. So I don't see anything wrong with what he's saying, man. And then fucking clowns in the UK. British Deputy Chief Rob McGowan, whoever the fuck this guy is. UK forces are ready to face Russia tonight. This was his response when MPs asked him how many British brigades could get to NATO's eastern flank in the event of a major escalation with Russia. Just what we need, some fucking idiot from the UK fucking telling us, yeah, we're ready to fight Russia. Well, I'm not fucking fighting Russia, mate. I'll go to fucking jail before I fight Russia. I'll tell you that now. You can shoot me dead. I ain't going to fight some fucking... I'm not going to fight for some baby killers and shit. Fuck that. No way. Some key points, you know. Joe Biden supported the Iraq war. Putin opposed the Iraq war. Joe Biden armed ISIS in Syria. Putin destroyed ISIS in Syria. Joe Biden armed Al-Qaeda in Syria. Putin destroyed Al-Qaeda in Syria. Joe Biden supported the destruction of Libya. Putin opposed the destruction of Libya. Biden armed the neo-Nazis in Ukraine. Putin destroyed the neo-Nazis in Ukraine. Biden supports a nuclear first strike, and Putin, of course, opposes the nuclear first strike. And last but not least, Biden enabled the genocide of the Palestinians, and Putin prevented the genocide of the people of the Donbass. Two clear, differences. I mean, of course, we know Biden's probably not making his own decisions, but he is a very big puppet and he's getting pushed around. He's clearly got like dementia and shit, he's getting like abused by whoever's in charge of him, but yeah, not the point. And is this why they really hate Putin? Because Putin comes out and says shit like this. This is what he says. Look at what they're doing with their own people. Talking about the West, by the way. They're destroying the institution of families, their cultures, historical identity, and various perversions. With regard to children, up to paedophilia are now accepted as the new norm. And priests are forced to recognize and officiate same-sex weddings. People have the rights to live the way they want. Oh wait, we have to stop for that noise. What is that noise? Subscribe on YouTube. Shout out to you, brother. Thank you for that. Jafir Khalifa, you're a G. Thank you, my brother, for subscribing. Yeah, chuck me a sank in the chat if you can, if it comes up on YouTube. I'm not sure. I know our streaming thing has been down, but sorry. Back to what Putin was saying. People have the right to live the way they want. Nobody intrudes upon private life. Nobody wants to do that. But what I want to say is maybe they should take a look into the scripture, into the holy book of any great religion. It says that the family is a union between a woman and a man. So yeah, he's just basically saying like respect the fucking religion, like if you wanna be gay or whatever, like, go, like, that's fine, you know what I mean? But don't push it on the fucking kids, man. Like, that's what's going on in the West, and that's fucking normal now. Is this why they hate Putin so much? It's probably on the list of the other things, But some important videos we do need to talk about. Let's just quickly go through the other stuff first, because we'll come back to these ones when we tie it all in at the end. So the Russian flag flies high in the liberated village of Dariano in the Kursk region after Russian forces defeated Ukrainian troops. The same troops that the media always tells you are somehow winning, but we see things like this every day as well. Clearly doesn't look like Ukraine winning. The Russian flag's flying high. Also Russia's delivered 24 tons of humanitarian aid to Lebanon as well. But yeah, so this was an interesting story as well. So the Russian military actually captured British mercenary James Anderson in the Kursk Oblast region. Some more, evidence that the UK is directly involved in a war with Russia. He's now giving evidence, a source in the security forces told the Russian news outlet. I'm just checking my TikTok. Yeah, man, they're trying to fuck with everybody, man. They're freedom fighter. Thank you for staying on TikTok, by the way. You're a G, man. I'm gonna give you a follow back. Yeah, thank you, bro. I really appreciate you coming and joining us on TikTok and being understanding of what's going on in the world, because a lot of people on TikTok, they really don't know what the fuck's going on in the world. But there's still some smart people there, which is good to see. We're trying to take TikTok, so we can educate some people before they ban us. But yeah, so back to this anyway. The British guy was caught in Russia by the Russian forces. And let's see what he had to say. I mean, so an ex-British soldier, James Scott Anderson, was caught in the Kursk region. And when he was caught, he said, "This was such a stupid idea." I mean, listen to his interview yourself. Think of it what you will.
James Scott Rees Anderson, 24th of May 2002. I was British Army before. 2019 to 2023. 22 Signal Regiment. Just private. I was a signal man. So 1 Signal Brigade, 22 Signal Regiment, 252 Squadron. Okay. So when I left, got fired from my job, I applied on the International Legion webpage. I had just lost everything. I just lost my job. My dad was away in prison. I see it on the TV. It's a stupid idea. Flew to Krakow, Poland from London, Luton. Bus from there to Medica in Poland on the Ukraine border.
So yeah, he's clearly obviously scared, man. Like, he says it was a stupid idea, and you know, the British in me wants to feel bad, you know, but I would never be tricked to go into a war against Russia. Like, he looks like he's around the same sort of age. But yeah, lucky that the Russians are not these monsters that everyone makes out, because, you know, if it was the Ukrainians and they captured a Russian soldier, then I'm sure he would have been dead. But, yeah, there's some more footage of him as well here. This is obviously, I think this one was probably recorded after, because you can tell he's not, like, handcuffed or anything and tied up. And this one he's tied up, so this is probably when they first caught him, but, let's watch this video as well.
How many months you learn
In British Army,
British Army?
I'm going to put subtitles on because it's quite quiet, this one.
British Army.
British Army.
I learn for 1 year, and I stay for 4 years.
Зачем ты пришел на нашу землю?
Sorry.
Why you come in Russia?
Russia, commander, take my shit and tell me to come. Take passport, everything, my telephone, and say, Machina, давай. I don't want to be here.
Ты обучался.
So yeah, he said he's acting like he's obviously forced to go. I mean, it's a shame because he seems like he could be a good guy, you know, if he just knew what was going on in the world. Maybe hopefully this is a wake up call. Hopefully he fucking sorts his shit out when he gets back, man. But yeah, some interesting news as well in Russia today is that so this is an old video. I posted it because I thought the timing was right. So Putin said before that disrespecting the Quran is a crime in Russia, unlike some other countries. So yeah, this is the video of him. So this is holy. The Quran is sacred for Muslims and it should be sacred for others. The Quran is holy. We know that in other countries they act differently. They do not respect the religious feelings of people. And they also say that it's not a crime. In our country, this is a crime, both under the Constitution and under Article 282 of the Criminal Code of the Russian Federation. So yeah, it's crazy because, you know, like in the West, there's people walking around like burning Qurans like that. What's his name? Like Salwan Momiko or whatever his name is. Goes around burning Qurans, making videos, making fun of Muslims. You know, it's funny because, you know, if that was certain other religions and shit, then they would be thrown in jail and, you know, of course. But when it's Muslims, don't matter, make fun of them. That's what they try and say in the West anyway. But in Russia, Russia's actually like a 98% Christian country, you know, Orthodox Christian. That's what they're known for. Like, they're mainly a Christian nation. But there's still Muslims. There's still maybe some Hindus and some Jewish people and whoever. And Putin will, he has as much respect for the Muslims as he does his own Christian brothers. So, some proof of that actually today, because the Volgograd Regional Court in Russia sentenced Nikita Zuraev to 14 years in prison. He was convicted for burning the Quran in public, as well as additional charges including treason. And I said good riddance. And it's important to note this happened in Dagestan, which is like a mainly Muslim part of Russia. So yeah, he was sentenced today. And do you know what that does as well? It sets an example. Because now that guy's got 14 years, do you think other people are going to go around Russia burning Qurans? They're going to think twice about it. Because in the West, in like, you know, any Western nation, people that do this shit are protected by police, for fuck's sake. Like, I've seen the people burning the Qurans in like Switzerland and is it Switzerland? Sweden or some shit. Yeah, no, that's where that guy's from actually, Salwan Momaka, whatever his name is. But he goes around country to country burning Qurans, you know, smoking and disrespecting the Quran on many levels, and he'll have like a police force surrounding him, and you know the police are like attacking the people trying to get him. Like, it's fucking crazy, man. But it just shows you that shit don't work in Russia, man. That shit don't work in Russia. But yeah, back to some Israel stuff. We'll go back to that stuff in a bit. We're not going to stay on for too much longer, but we will. We have got quite a few. Yo, the Saviour, is that you? Yeah, of course, brother. This is me. I'm from the UK, no. And yeah, President Putin does have morals. You're right, Bernadette. But no, man, I stand up for everyone in the world, man. It's not about being an Arab or being a Muslim to stand up for Palestine and shit, you know. Like, I'm a Christian myself, but it doesn't take a genius to see that when a genocide's happening, you know. It doesn't take an expert either. You don't have to be an expert on a subject to know that either. But yeah, thank you for joining us, brother. Anyway, but some shit about Israel anyway. So Israel actually murdered their own hostages again yesterday. No, so not yesterday. It was like 3 days ago. Al-Qassam brigades announced that an Israeli hostage was killed due to an airstrike in Gaza. Oh yeah, there was that guy that was the Israel guy, the rabbi that dressed up in an IDF uniform. For fuck's sake, this guy was murdered. He was murdered in the UAE, which is kind of crazy because not a lot of shit like that happens out there. But then the Ministry of the Interior of the United Arab Emirates published the first photos of the 3 suspects in the murder. So interesting to see what happens there. Oh yeah, some crazy funny news. The ICC, so the International Criminal Court at the beginning of the week, or last week actually, has finally issued arrest warrants for Israeli PM Benjamin Netanyahu and former Defence Minister Yoav Gallant. We know the ICC is basically like, you know, that's not nothing. They're still doing whatever they're doing, but this was a good. This is a good sort of time to see where world leaders stand. You know, just to double confirm, and see how the other countries acted about this. You know, the countries that are meant to be arresting them. We'll see how they all sort of act. So, obviously, U.S. Senator Tom Cotton, the Netherlands, issued obviously the arrest warrant against Netanyahu and Gallant, and this fucking idiot, the US Senator Tom Cotton, he threatened to invade the Netherlands because the International Criminal Court issued an arrest warrant against Netanyahu and Gallant. Like, what the fuck? Like, this guy's from America, and you're threatening to invade the Netherlands because Israel's got Netanyahu's got an arrest warrant. Like, what type of world are we living in? And it's important to know as well that this same Tom Cotton is this fucking clown here. A real image of Tom Cotton discovering the so-called WMD in Iraq. There it is. Fucking hell, good job they went to Iraq, man. Got rid of that problem, you know. Surrounding gold bars. He's literally in a bath of gold bars, it looks. And then now, fast forward to now, he's fucking senator in the US. Like, shit is fucking crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, look, a comment there said, eventually the thief and murderer became a senator. That's what happens, man. If you're a rapist or you're a murderer or anything like that, you get promoted, obviously, in countries like America. So yeah, Switzerland claimed that they will arrest and hand over Netanyahu to the ICC as soon as he enters the country. That's based. Switzerland's on the right side of history there. Also, this man deserves an ICC. He deserves an arrest warrant in my eyes. British PM Keir Starmer, of course, because when he was asked about Israel having the right to cut off electricity and water, he said, yeah, you know, that's needed. And this was obviously an old video, but look at this for those of you that haven't seen it.
I'm very clear. Israel does have that right to defend herself, and Hamas bears responsibility.
A siege is appropriate? Cutting off power, cutting off water?
Well, I think that Israel does have that right. It is an ongoing situation. Obviously, everything should be done within international law, but I don't want to step away from the sort of core principles that Israel has a right to defend herself and Hamas bears responsibility for these terrorist acts. And I will...
Right, just deep that down, what you just said. I don't want to step away from, you know, the core principles. No, wait, what do you say? I don't, you know, everything's got to be done in the rights of international law, but I don't want to step away from the principles that Israel has the right to defend herself. So fucking, like, even if Israel was defending themselves, which they're not, you know, they're committing a fucking genocide, sorry, there's a fucking fly. You know, as much as the law matters, you know, but Israel comes first over the law. That's basically what this fucking idiot's saying. Listen.
Situation. Obviously, everything should be done within international law, but I don't want to step away from the sort of core principles that Israel has a right to defend herself and Hamas bears responsibility for these terrorist acts. And I would call on all responsible states, particularly Middle East responsible states, to call this out for what it is, and to stand with the world in condemning, utterly condemning, these actions by
the world. Yeah, okay, shut your mouth, mate. But yeah, send a fucking arrest warrant for this dickhead while you're at it as well. But the president of Colombia, he's always based, man. The ICC issuing an arrest warrant for Netanyahu and Gallant is a logical step that should have been taken a long time ago. Yeah, agreed, completely agreed. The Turkish Foreign Ministry said the ICC arrest warrant for Netanyahu creates hope for justice. Ankara will continue to seek punishment for the genocide in Gaza. W Turkey. Italy's Foreign Minister Antonio Tajani states that Italy will consult with allies on how to interpret the ICC arrest warrants against Netanyahu and Gallant. So basically, you're not doing shit, mate. Okay, you're a Zionist. Cool. Obviously, this clown, where did you think Milei was going to stand? Of course, we all knew where he was going to go. Argentina's President Milei has expressed deep concerns with the ICC's decision to issue an arrest warrant for Netanyahu. Now, shut the fuck up. Why are you crying at the fucking wall as well? And even Elon Musk was fucking reposting shit like this, you know, saying that it's anti-Semitic. Like, what the fuck, man? Anti-Semitic to condemn a genocide. Like, what the fuck? They put an arrest warrant out for one of the Hamas leaders as well. So is that anti-Semitic too? Like, what the fuck? Slovenia's Prime Minister Robert Golob said Slovenia will respect ICC arrest warrants issued against Israeli leaders and will fully comply. W Slovenia. And of course, Britain, number 10 Downing Street, said that it would be down to a domestic court to approve the warrant and then up to the police to arrest Netanyahu if Britain is to comply with its international treaty obligations. So in other words, the UK won't be arresting Netanyahu. Of course they won't. And last but not least, Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban. Just as I thought he was, you know, becoming a bit better, he said, "Today, I will invite Mr. Netanyahu for a visit to Hungary, and in that invite, I will guarantee him that if he comes, the ICC ruling will have no effect in Hungary, and we will not follow its contents." Well, that's fucking great, ain't it? Fuck you, bro, like, do you know what I mean? But, I don't know what other countries, there was definitely other countries that came out, but, yeah, man, it's kind of obvious the ones that stood up, you know, was always going to stand up, and the ones that won't were always Zionists from the beginning. Anything going on here? I think the chat's dying out on TikTok a little bit. Oh wait, you've been saying a lot. Yeah, no worries, brother. Thank you for staying of course this whole time. Yeah, I think everybody's against the Israeli regime, you know. I think anyone with a fucking brain cell left is against the regime anyway, or anyone that's not been paid by fucking AIPAC. But yeah, shout out to you, Sean, brother. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, man, Starmer's, of course, we all know who he works for. He's always getting paid by these fucking... He's getting paid by AIPAC and shit as well, man, like, of course. So, yeah, about Trump, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think of Trump? Is Trump going to fucking do anything different? Probably not. Like, he loves Israel, do you know what I mean? But hopefully he can stop some shit going on in Russia, at least. I hope so. Fucking hell, if he don't, then we're all screwed, honestly. I think we're going into World War III, if not. Yeah, man, crazy shit going on. Let's see if there's anything on Kick. No, I'm gonna. Hey, this is obviously a fucking bot or some shit. Where was we? Where was we? So yeah, that's the ICC part done. This general shit, I mean, okay. Yeah, so in Jordan as well, beginning of the week, they sentenced former MP Imad al-Adwan to 10 years in prison for smuggling weapons to Palestinian factions in the West Bank. That's fucking crazy, man. That really is crazy. Okay, and former, well, I said US General Scott Ritter, and I've got absolutely so many people attacking me in the comments saying he's not a fucking general. He, like, bro, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I love how, like, I'm not being funny, yeah, okay, fair enough, he's a US Marine Intelligence Officer and he was a former weapons inspector. And I actually do remember him saying that as well, you know, so it was a mistake on my behalf. But I think people should, you know, actually pay attention to the video and, you know, I think the video was more important than my my mispronunciation of his job role. Sorry, fucking hell, guys, like. But yeah, the video was a very emotional video, and that's why it kind of annoyed me about these comments, you know. Like, just pay attention to the video, man. Scott Ritter is a fucking G. Watch this.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's only one name I have to put out there for you to have horror in your hearts. And that's Hind Rajab, a 6-year-old girl who was in the car with her relatives. The machine gun bullets ripped through the car, fired by the Israelis, killing her family, leaving her and her 15 alive but wounded. They picked up the phone and they called for help. Within minutes, the machine guns opened up again and killed her 15-year-old cousin, leaving a 6-year-old girl alone with dead relatives on the phone, begging for help, pleading for help, crying for help. They tried to send help. They sent 2 paramedics, very brave men, who went out there from the Red Crescent Society. They cleared the path. They got approval from the Israelis to go there and rescue this 6-year-old girl. They got within sight, 50 meters away. They said, we see her. We see the car. They got out of the ambulance, and they were immediately gunned down by the Israelis. Murdered. Their crime, trying to rescue a 6-year-old girl. She's on the phone begging for help. Please help me. Please come to me. A 6-year-old girl pleading for help. And what did the Israelis do? The tanks are coming closer, she said. I'm afraid. The tanks are coming closer. The lady on the other end had her pray, had her recite verses from the Quran. And then the machine guns opened up for a last time. And they murdered Hind Rajab. All you need is one name. And yet I can give you 40,000 to 190,000 names of Palestinian civilians who have been murdered in Gaza by the Israelis. Their crime, wanting to have a homeland, wanting the same thing we want, a place we can call our own, a place we say, this is my home, this is where I will raise my family, this is where future generations will learn to live in peace with their neighbors. But no, the Israelis don't want to live in peace. The Israelis dream of something, and when I say Israelis, I'm speaking of Zionists, people. I'm not speaking of Jews. I'm speaking of Zionists. The Jewish faith is a faith in the hearts of those who will steal the land of others so that they can prosper while suppressing
Yeah, I don't know why it lagged out, but it's only, like he said, you only need one name out of all of these thousands to really know, like, this shit's fucked up, man. But yeah, great speech by Scott. Great speech. What else? Is it still working on TikTok? Freedom Fighter, is the stream working on TikTok for you, brother? Oh yeah, I think it is. Yeah, man. We don't exactly. Palestine should have been a wake-up call a long time ago, but apparently the world's still fucking sleeping, man. They don't care. And yeah, man, Shoom, exactly. I remember the recording. The recording was fucking heartbreaking, man. When that first came out, I mean, I thought about that shit for a few weeks, man. It reminded me as well, the 2 young girls that were murdered at the fucking Super Bowl night as well. That night will always stick with me, man. Shit's fucking sad, man. Wish we could stop this shit ASAP. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. She was pleading for help for fucking hours, yeah, and they just fucking murdered her. SIG actually burned numerous ethnic Russians alive in Odessa on May the 2nd, 2014. Of course, the mainstream media will not. Here's a video of the Ukrainian terrorists celebrating after they burned down all the fucking civilian homes and killed everyone.
Они сдались! Они сдались! Мы своего добились! Слава Украине! Снимай какой где. Скидно, перейди туда. Как раз когда я был...
So they're shouting Slava Ukraini, which is now like, you know, they try and make that into like a fucking, like, oh, glory to Ukraine. They're trying to say nowadays that that's like a good thing. But this is what these terrorists have been shouting for years, and it has a completely different meaning when you actually know what's going on. And here's a very good video I think everyone needs to watch for those of you that don't know what's going on. Everyone needs to watch this video. Share this video everywhere. I got it from TikTok. You can see the TikTok guy's username here. TheWorld_2080. Hopefully that video is still on TikTok, because it's crazy to me if it is, because it is a very good video and I'm not surprised it's been taken down by now. If not, you can go onto my page, you can share it here, you can share it from my page, you can share it from the screen record, whatever you need to do. Just please show this video to anyone that doesn't know what's going on in Ukraine. This is like a quick 6-minute breakdown of pretty much a lot of information about what's been going on, you know, the lead up to all of this shit.
This is not an attack by Putin on Ukraine in the way that we are told every day. This started in 1990, February 9th, 1990. James Baker III, our Secretary of State, said to Mikhail Gorbachev, NATO will not move 1 inch eastward if you basically plan to expand NATO all the way to Ukraine. This is when the so-called neocons took power, and Clinton was the first agent of this. And the expansion of NATO started in 1999 with Poland, Hungary, and Czech Republic. At that point, Russia didn't much care. There was no border other than with the Königsberg, but other than that, there was no direct threat. Then the U.S. led the bombing of Serbia in 1999. That was bad, by the way, because that was a use of NATO to bomb a European capital, Belgrade, 78 straight days to break the country apart. The Russians didn't like that very much. But Putin became president, they swallowed it, they complained, but even Putin started out pro-European, pro-American, actually asked maybe we should join NATO when there was still the idea of some kind of mutually respectful relationship. Then 9/11 came, then came Afghanistan, and the Russians said, yeah, we'll support you, we understand, to root out terror. But then came 2 other decisive actions. In 2002, the United States unilaterally...
And an important part about that as well, you know, Putin was actually like the first person to call the president of America after the Twin Towers attack. Because a few years before, you know, Russia, what's the place called? Not Chechnya, in Dagestan and wherever, yeah, I think it was Dagestan, that they was invaded by terrorists back in the early 90s, late 90s, sorry, when Putin was actually prime minister. He just came in as prime minister. So they had their own terrorism problems going on in Russia, so they knew what was going, you know, on. They felt some sort of sympathy towards the US, because Russia never wanted to have all these problems with the US in the beginning. But let's watch the video anyway.
Walked out of the anti-ballistic missile treaty. This was probably the most decisive event, never discussed in this context. But what it did was trigger the US putting in missile systems in Eastern Europe that Russia views as a dire, direct threat. In 2004-05, we engaged in a soft regime change operation in Ukraine. But in 2009, Yanukovych won the election and he became president in 2010 on the basis of neutrality for Ukraine. That calmed things down because the U.S. was pushing NATO, but the people of Ukraine on the opinion polls didn't even want to be in NATO. They knew that the country is divided between ethnic Ukrainian, ethnic Russian. What do we want with this? We want to stay away from your problems. So in February 22nd, 2014, the United States participated actively in the overthrow of Yanukovych. A typical U.S. regime change operation, have no doubt about it. And the Russians did us a favor. They intercepted a really ugly call between Victoria Nuland, my colleague at Columbia University now, between her and the U.S. ambassador to Ukraine, Jeffrey Piat, who's a senior State Department official till today. And they talked about regime change. They said, who's going to be the next government? All of this is to say, the U.S. then said, okay, now NATO's really going to enlarge. And Putin kept saying, stop. You promised no NATO enlargement. It's been, by the way, I forgot to mention, in 2004, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Bulgaria, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia, 7 more countries in the not 1 inch eastward. And then, okay, it's a long story, but the U.S. kept rejecting the basic idea, don't expand NATO to Russia's border in a context where we're putting in goddamn missile systems after breaking a treaty. 2019, we walked out of the Intermediate Nuclear Force Treaty. On December 15th, 2021, Putin put on the table a draft Russia-U.S. security agreement. You can find it online. The basis of it is no NATO enlargement. I called the White House that next week after that, begging them, take the negotiations. Putin's offered something, avoid this war. Oh, Jeff, there's not going to be a war. Announce that NATO's not going to enlarge. Oh, don't worry, NATO's not going to enlarge. I said, oh, you're going to have a war over something that's not going to happen? Why don't you announce them? And he said, no, our policy is an open door. This is Jake Sullivan. Our policy is an open door policy. Open door for NATO enlargement. That is under the category of bullshit, by the way. You don't have your right to put your military bases anywhere you want and expect peace in this world. They turned down the negotiations. Then the special military operation started. And 5 days later, Zelensky says, okay, neutrality. And then the United States and Britain said, no way. You guys fight on. We got your back. We don't have your front. You're all going to die. But we got your back as we kept pushing them into the front lines. That's 600,000 deaths now of Ukrainians since Boris Johnson flew to Kyiv to tell them to be brave.
So yeah, man, that's like a 6-minute summary of that's a lot of information in 6 minutes. So definitely share that video about, man. That's very important for people that don't know what's going on. No worries, Freedom Fire. We're gonna wrap it up now anyway. Yeah, that's pretty much all tonight anyway, guys. It's getting late. It's 12:30 at night in the UK, so we're gonna do another stream at some point this week. I think on Friday we'll have like a movie night. We'll watch like some documentaries, because Friday I won't have to get up early in the morning. I've got to actually be up in like 5 hours, man. I don't sleep a lot in the week, but on Friday I can have a little bit of a sleep the next day on a Saturday, because I don't have my normal job. But we'll watch like a few documentaries and movies and stuff together. But thank you everyone for joining us anyway. It's been a quick stream tonight, 2 hours. Just catching up really. But yeah, thanks everyone for joining, and until next time, we'll see you then.